girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Females made you just to trick me, trick me, trick me, trick me.
Hi, if you are seeing this, it means my book, Everything Was Here But You, is out now. This book touches on love, loss, grief, and the weird feeling that something is missing when you're building your beautiful, big, accomplished dream life. Check it out now. I'm sure you will find something in this book that you can relate to, and I hope it feels like a huge hug. You can get it now on Amazon and barnesandnoble.com. Mwah. Hey everyone, today I'm honored to welcome a very special guest. She is one of the nicest math teachers I've ever had. Hi, Miss Coslett. How are you today? You can introduce your normal name, but to me, you'll always be Miss Coslett.
I know. Hi. A lot of maybe your followers will also be like, that's Miss Coslett. But I am Kristie Stone, or Miss Coslett to a lot of you. I was a middle school math teacher for 10 years in Florida. We've since moved back up to New York. I'm a mom to my awesome and super cool daughter, Violet, who is 16 months old. And I am also a small business owner of my own business, Kristie's Custom Arts, and it's resin, it's laser engraving, jewelry, floral preservation. So I'm the artist and owner behind that. So that's me.
You're literally the coolest ever. Like some of the stuff you make, I'm like, she makes this? Like this is incredible.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny when I first started, I didn't have any plans to make my own business or be anything of what I'm doing now, but I had wanted to make my husband a really cool cutting board. He was super into cooking. We even had Instagram was called Savor It with the Stones for a hot minute. We were making all these recipes and stuff. But I wanted to make him a really cool cutting board, and I was online like looking. I had like our logo I wanted to put on it. I couldn't find anything that I wanted. So I thought to myself, I could just make this. So I bought like a wood burning pen and did the whole design on the board. And then I put it online like, hey, I made this for my husband, Matt, blah, blah, blah. And people were like, oh, like I kind of want one. Then one thing led to another, and then I couldn't keep up. So I bought my laser engraver, and then it just kind of went from there. So that's how it started.
I love that. Like one little like idea turned into like this amazing business. And you know what? Like if you want something done, do it yourself. I always believe that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That was the thing. I was like, I don't want to spend $500 on this board. I can just make this myself. And I did. So there we go.
A lot cheaper too.
Exactly. That was what I was going for in the budget.
Exactly. So I kind of want to go back to you were a teacher before you were anything, before you were a mom, before you were a small business owner. I mean, let's talk about that a little bit because I feel like that world has changed severely since you were my teacher and probably since you started.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, so straight out of college, I went on a bunch of different interviews, and Broward County happened to be the only place that actually had a promising interview process. So I did the interview with them, and they hired me on the spot. And from there, basically moved on to Florida, and that was it. I did the interview at the school, and that was it. But 10 years ago till now, it's significantly different. So that was 2015. So we're talking now, 11 years. But yeah, it's from when I started teaching to probably my last year teaching, it significantly changed. I think my attitude changed towards it too. There's a lot of stories that I could share. All the tea is going to be spilt today. No, but no, it's definitely changed, and unfortunately, it's not what it was, and stinks.
And you probably had to step away from it because you were, you know what, like on to bigger and better things.
Yeah. So when I had gotten pregnant in 2024 with Violet, the plan was always to kind of just not go back to work, not just teaching, but not to go back to work, because I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom for her. I just know the benefits of it. My mom was a stay-at-home mom for me, and I just, not to toot my own horn, but I think I turned out pretty well from how she raised me. So I also wanted to do that for Violet, but some people leaving their job, it's hard. They miss it. For me, I was like, it was time to go. The levels of stress as a teacher, you know, the low salary, a lot of the things were just kind of like, all right, adding up, like it's time to move on.
I love that because you know what, like I feel like it really does play a role not only in your physical health but your mental health too. And it's like you're not getting paid for half the crap that you're dealing with. Like you literally have to have kids yell at you all day sometimes, throw things
Yeah.
at you. Like it depends on what you're getting. I mean, I never did that. I was a good kid.
No.
My own horn. I never threw a stapler at you or whatever, but like you really never knew what you were dealing with. And I feel like then you have to go home and then do it again the next day. It's pretty rigid.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, as far as like the emotional aspect, a lot of kids who walk in, they just see you as the teacher, but they don't see you as also, a human, just like them, who has their own stresses, their own burdens, their own things that they're dealing with outside of school. And, they don't see that. So it's easy for them to just be disrespectful and, wanting to just get their own attention regardless of what you're trying to do in the classroom. So it's it's one thing that I wish a lot of kids understood, was that we're also humans. We were also kids like you at one point, and I don't think a lot of kids realize that.
Yeah, and you go home and you have a life and you're not just the teacher. So just be kind. That's what I never
Yeah, I'm not solving equations when I go home for fun, sitting in bed
Right.
doing equations, like that's just, but a lot of kids, that's what they see their teachers as, like they see them as just doing science or history, or it's funny. That's how people see you.
No, literally. I remember you used to like eat Oreos in our class, and I was like, Miss Coslett's so real. She's like eating Oreos just like me. Like, she's normal. Like, what?
I'm a person too. Yeah.
No, literally, literally. Like, you're gonna go have a weekend too. Like, come on.
hmm Exactly.
When you were teaching, what made a student reachable?
So I feel like you can kind of just tell. It's easier to tell the opposite of that. It's easier to tell the kids that aren't reachable first. It's the ones that, are trying to be on their phone, or they have one AirPod in, or you can tell they're just like completely disengaged. And don't really care about learning, or don't really care about doing well. They just want to get out of the classroom, go on their phones, run around with their friends. But those students that are reachable and want to learn something, for me, it was just like eye contact. When you're teaching your lesson, they're looking at you, they're copying down, they're looking at you, they're copying it down. But they're also smiling back at you, and you can kind of tell. I'm not saying like, like ready to learn, but like you can tell they're not happy to be there, but they are willing to be there and they're willing to learn. And it's also just like the easy, like asking a question, not, can I go to the bathroom, or can I get a water? It's, how did you get to this part? How did you do that? Can you go back? Because they really want to understand, versus the kids that aren't taking notes. Like you can tell. And I think over the 10 years of being a teacher, you can just tell who wants to learn and who actually wants to succeed in your class. It's just like something I guess you pick up on as a teacher throughout your years. So that's what I would say.
Well, and I like that because I feel like if someone's paying attention, it's going to not only make their life easier, but also yours. Because then you're not having to go explain to them. Like if you're fooling around on your phone or whatever, then you're going to be failing the test and wondering why you failed. Well, maybe you had to pay attention. Like even if you get the answer wrong, that's what I always loved about you. Like at least you're paying attention and like you're realizing, okay,
Yeah.
this isn't the right answer. How do I get the right one?
Right. Exactly. Especially like in math, there is always, for the most part, there's always one right answer, depending on, what type of math they're doing. But, a lot of kids will just not think about that as what math is. So it's easy to reach kids that want to learn and just want to be like, all right, I got it wrong, but how can I fix that? How can I actually answer this question?
Did you know in the moment which students you were impacting?
Um, no, I would say I mean, besides, I mean, you are one of the students that is like the super success story that, of every teacher's, profession. There's always going to be that one student that just goes above and beyond and does it.
I know.
But no, I mean, like you're living it, you're definitely living it with your books and, your podcasts and everything. But, in the moment, did I know you were going to become a successful young woman? Absolutely not. Did I see you had potential? Absolutely, yes. But like,
Out the door.
yeah. But it's like you don't know, what little things that you say to a student, what they're gonna take with them and what they're gonna be like, whatever, like she's just saying whatever. But there is one story that I wanted to share because this is like one of the stories throughout my whole profession that I will never ever forget as a teacher. So it goes back to something that I didn't know I was impacting her until after. So the student, I will not say any names, but she came to me and was like, I am self-harming because I am so depressed. And she showed me the scars on her arms. And she was like, I went to my guidance counselors and I'm not really like getting help. I just want to like eat lunch with you a couple of days. I'm like, absolutely. So she ate lunch with me. Wasn't much, it was maybe like 2 or 3 times. But as a teacher, they prepare you so much for how to teach a lesson, how to structure the class, deal with accommodations, but they don't teach you in college how to deal with a student that comes up and says, I am self-harming. Here's how you deal with it, kind of thing. So after that first conversation we had, I went online, I Googled like, how do I deal with a student that is doing this? And I printed out all these things as like coping mechanisms, because, whatever. I don't know any of the, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor, a guidance counselor, I don't know. So I printed them out. I gave her a bunch of different things and she was like, thank you. This is, I'm gonna try them. I'm like, okay. Then she stopped eating lunch with me. I saw her with her friend. She seemed like she was, good. And then I feel like it was like a month or two had passed and I heard a knock on my door before school started. And she came in and I was like, oh, hi, like come on in, whatever. And she was like, Miss Coslett, I just want to tell you that I was in the bathroom last night in front of my mirror and I had the razor and I was going to do it for real this time. And she was like, and then I thought of all the things you said to me and everything we've worked through, and I didn't do it. That's why I'm here in your classroom now. I'm like, why? Even like, telling the story now, it's like, that's a perfect example of you don't know what student you're impacting in that moment, but sometimes down the road it comes back. But that is a story I will always carry with me because it's, I potentially saved her life. It's something that you don't know that it's happening in that moment. So it's a story I will always carry with me because it's just, you can't make it up. So
Beautiful. Stop. And like I know that she probably remembers that like on her worst days as well. And like it goes back to like you never know what someone's going through, and teachers really are like a second home for kids, because if someone's dealing with something at home, school is probably one of the places they feel the safest. So it's
exactly
that make it a little bit easier. So
yeah. Thanks.
Right. That was like
yeah, it's one of my, it's a sad story, but definitely obviously a good ending, so.
And like, you know what, that's all that matters, because you prevented her from probably doing something worse.
Yes.
What is something students never realize teachers carry emotionally? I feel like we kind of touched on this a little.
Yeah, it's, we're emotionally, we're also humans outside of school. We have families, we have friends, we have social lives. As far as emotionally, it's, we're dealing with our own stressors. And I wish that a lot of students also would be a little bit more compassionate when they fire back at their teachers because they're getting on them about something, but they just treat you as the teacher. And, it's kind of like that authority student type of deal where they don't get that. So I just wish that a lot of students knew we were humans like them. We were little like them. And just to be more compassionate. That's all.
I love that. No, like again, you really know what someone is going through. Like you never really know what someone is going through. And like a teacher, like maybe your teacher's in a bad mood because something happened before work. Like you have bad moods too. Just be compassionate, be kind, and try not to make it, worse for them. You never know. You really do.
Yeah, exactly. Let's make it a little easier.
Exactly. Like don't yell at your teacher. Like, come on, let's not do that. What is something that really stuck with you the last 10 years of your teaching career? Wait, you've been teaching 10 years?
It was, I almost made it a full 10 years. So it's technically like 9 years and 3 months by the time I left. So we could round it to 10. It's felt like 20. round it to 10. Something that's really stuck with me, I think, is just how much stuff you have to juggle in every moment when you're a teacher. You're dealing with kids with IEPs, you're dealing with socially, emotionally challenged students, you're dealing with just a million things at one time. So something that stuck with me is just being able to, almost like so many people compare it to your computer having like 1,000 tabs open at once. Like that's kind of like what your brain is doing. You're trying to teach, you're trying to make sure so-and-so is getting their 504 accommodations. This person's getting their verbal encouragement. This person isn't, beating up this other kid because it's just like, it's so much that I don't think any sort of schooling truly prepares you for it until you're in it. So I would say that.
I can't even imagine. Like, I would be chugging iced coffee every minute because I would not be able to remember all of that either.
Yeah, it's a lot. It really is. It takes a special kind of person to be a teacher and to like doing it too.
My God, I don't know. I don't know how I'd handle it. I'm not built to be a teacher. So for everyone listening, if you have a teacher in your life, go thank them for doing what they do, because it does not seem like it's light work.
It is not an easy job. Definitely not.
What did teaching teach you about people?
I guess that a lot of people have their own way of learning. Not just kids, but adults as well. Each kid learns in their own style, which is another kind of challenge as a teacher. Because you're trying to reach every kid, 27 kids in your classroom, sometimes it's 30, and it's hard to have that many different learning styles. But something I learned about people is that everyone learns in their own style. And a lot of teachers, like old school teachers, I think, don't understand that. They'll teach one specific way and it's like, it's my way or that's it. If you don't get it, you don't get it. Like, here are my notes, look them over, like it's done. But even as far as adults go, adults learn in their own ways too. During our professional developments, when we're trying to learn our own things, we don't all learn the same way. So it's definitely everyone learns in a different style for sure.
I love you saying that, because I always think like a lot of people think like, oh, I can't do one thing, I'm stupid. And I always say there's different forms of intelligence as well. Like maybe you can't do math the best like me, but I can write really well. And you know what? I wouldn't trade that for anything. So I feel like realizing people learn in different ways, people think in different ways, and that's what makes us us. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, 100%. And I think I probably shouldn't say what I'm about to say, but as a math teacher, we have a calculator in our pocket at all times.
Saying that.
So I know when I was in school, you're never gonna have a calculator in your pocket at all times, but now we do. So you don't have to be a math genius to become someone successful in the world. I mean, it depends on what profession you want to follow for sure, but you don't need it to be a super, super, super successful person. There are other ways around it, and there's other occupations you can follow that don't require all that. So like I said, I probably shouldn't say that as a former math teacher, but it's
AI too now, like at this point, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the truth,
I don't love AI, but you know what?
It helps. It's helpful. It is useful when it is. Yeah.
If I don't want to do math, I'm just like, hey, AI, like, you know what I mean?
Okay, help me. Yes. 100%.
Okay, I'm gonna try not to cry, but what is something you would say to 12-year-old me in your classroom if you could talk to her right now?
Do I know the future or do I not know the future?
I don't know. Maybe you.
Okay. If I knew the future, I would say definitely don't give up. Pursue your writing, pursue poetry, pursue all the literature things, because that's your strong suit, and focus on your strengths. So I would say don't give up, focus on your strengths, and persevere. That's what I would say.
I love that. No, which is like,
Yeah.
which I have so much respect for you, not like trying to make me love math, because I don't think I ever will.
Some people don't, and that's okay.
You made it really fun. And which I really appreciate because it's not really easy to find a cool young. I used to call you the cool young math teacher because that's what you were.
Yeah.
Like, she's so pretty, she's so cool, and like I get to go hang out with her for like 80 minutes, like lucky me.
Hmm.
And then you just made
Yeah.
more fun because you were so sweet and friendly and exactly what you'd want as a teacher who, teaches a subject you hate. So
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, it's interesting that you say that because you got that version of me as a teacher where other classes might not have gotten that version because of the dynamic. So you were lucky in that aspect to have that version of Miss Coslett at the time. Whereas, some students potentially be listening, be like, Miss Coslett or Mrs. Stone was definitely a little bit of a hard ass back then. So it's like, everyone, it's different who you ask. You'll get a different version of the teacher.
now perception's weird because like to one
Mhm.
person you're like the best person on earth, and then to someone else they hate you, and I'm just like, you know what, whatever. Not everyone
Yeah.
drinks coffee. Do I get that? No, but you know what? Ease your thing, go drink tea. I'm gonna be drinking my coffee over here. Leave me.
Yeah. Yes.
So back to, more of the cooler stuff. Not that math's not cool. I mean, okay, yeah,
Mhm.
I'm never gonna like it. But mom life, business, and identity. I want to talk to you a little bit about that. How did you know it was time to step into a new chapter?
So my husband and I have been together since, well, let's say 16 years now, coming up on 16 years. We met in middle school. So
That's so
we've
beautiful.
known each other since like 2007, 2008, maybe. Um, but we got married during COVID 2020, and we had all this time to just grow together as a couple, then as a married couple, as best friends. And after being married for, I believe it was like three years at the time, we were like, we did all the adventures, we did everything. So now it's time to start a family. So that was when we had Violet. Um, and that was when, it was like, this is going to be the end of teaching because, as I explained earlier, I'm not going to see myself as a working mom. Not, and I give so many props to working moms because that is like a whole nother level. Because being a mom is a full-time job in itself, so it's a lot. But that was where our chapter kind of shifted. And now that I'm home with Violet, I'm able to focus on the small business, which is hard because, as I said, it's a full-time job being a mom. So introduce being a small business on top of that, it's a lot. But
Your helper.
that was yeah. We got a little bit of time for that. But yeah, no, that I would say that was like the turning point. Was like we've had our experiences. We were just ready to start a family.
What has motherhood changed about you?
I thought I was patient beforehand. Being a teacher, now I realize that patience is significantly different when you're a mom because they're a little tiny human that doesn't understand how the world works just yet. So they test your patience, they do things, and it's like they don't really understand. But patience is something that I've definitely learned, and I feel like I have a lot of patience. It's funny, anytime like I'm FaceTiming my mom, my dad, they're like, "You have to have a lot of patience." I'm like, "Yeah, it's you kind of just you have to because they're so little, they don't understand. They're learning everything, they're learning the world, they're learning how things work. So you just have to be patient and just take things with grace because you can't, there's no other way to deal with kids.
Well, and I feel like that's so wholesome to think about on like one of your bad days because you have her to look at and be like, I made this human being.
Mhm.
Like, I need to show up
Mhm.
for her and be the best version of me for her because she's learning, and everything that's around her is going to shape her into who she's going to become.
100%. It's like you want to lead by example. So
I love that. I'm going to cry. Like, that's so cute. How do you balance ambition and being present?
um I feel like it's hard. You don't really balance it. Some days it's one, some days it's the other. But in terms of being a mom, and wanting to have my small business succeed and thrive, um, Violet is always going to outweigh the small business, and that's just like an honest, thing because
Love that.
she's my daughter and she's the most important thing in the world.
Aw.
So, the business will always come second. But as far as balancing, nap time is an amazing time for me to get things done. So nap time is usually Kristie's Custom Arts, working, getting things done. So it's really just a matter of time management. That's the best way I could say balancing ambition and being present is just time management, which if there's any of my friends that are listening right now, they'll be like, yes, she has checklists. She is a master of the list. Like, so it's very true. I need a structure. I need things so I could check things off. So it's just time management and being organized for sure.
I love that. And I feel like that applies to everything. Because if you want something to come out good, you have to, one, take care of yourself because nothing can be good if you're not good yourself. And two,
Mm-hmm.
you have to like really process and like organize and plan properly so you don't have like some failed design or, you know, fail product. You know, you really have to like put
Yes.
your into it. So I think that makes you really good at what you do, knowing you have checklists, knowing you have this organizational like format to look back on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a psychopath. You have no idea. I have to have all the checklists.
I agree. I would too. What would you tell someone who feels maybe underestimated in this season of their life in any way, but maybe if they're trying to do a small business and they're scared or they don't know if they're able to, or, you know, I feel like doubt goes into
Mhm.
everything. We're our biggest haters sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. It's, it's the thought of failure. It's like if I do this, is it going to work? If I don't do this, what's going to happen? What are the following effects? But um, I would say that time is going to pass no matter what. Days are going to go by, weeks are going to go by, whether you start, a small business, you start working out, you start learning a new hobby today, or you start 3 weeks from now, it doesn't matter. Time is always going to pass. So I would just say, just start, take the first step, just do it. Because time doesn't wait for anyone and it always keeps going. So just go, just start.
I love that. I always say you can start now and make it better later. Like you just have to
Hmm.
start the idea and maybe you
Yeah.
fail a few times, but like if you don't start, you're never gonna know. And then you're gonna be like 85, you know, looking back at your life, being like, I should have done it. Why didn't I?
Yeah.
Like, you know, regretting. And you know what? Like maybe it's gonna take longer, but you have to start and who knows? You have that idea for a reason. Someone else needs that. And if you're not sharing that, you're almost being selfish in a way.
Yeah. I agree. Just start, like you said, you can always start now and make it better later. That's a great way to look at it. Definitely.
That's my brain. That's my brain.
I like that. I like
You
it.
can steal that one. We'll put
I
it.
will.
When things feel overwhelming, what grounds you? Obviously, I'm big on taking care of yourself. So, do you have any like wellness routines that you fall back on?
So I would say, so as far as routines, I love to read. I'm a super book person.
That makes me
I love,
none of
I love reading. I
books.
love reading. Yes. Sometimes I don't have the time to sit and physically read a book. So I do a lot of like the Audible, books where I can, listen as I'm doing stuff. But, that is a big de-stressor for me. It's nice to like escape to a world. I love fantasy, romance, all that. So it's like you get to step into this other world, kind of take a break from your world for a little bit and do a little reset. No matter how, fantastical the world may be, it's always a good just step away and a break. But my husband is a really amazing husband and father. So he is probably even more so than me reading or listening to a book. He's just my rock. So if there's anything I ever need help with, he's like my number one supporter, my number one fan. But he will always kind of just like de-stress me and make sure I'm just comforted in a way that I need, to reassure me. He's really, really good at that. So I think that's why we've been together for so long, because we know what each of us needs. So he's just amazing. So shout out to Matt. He's just amazing.
We love Matt. And everyone, guys, don't settle. Go find a Matt because you know what? Like, if you're gonna spend the rest
Yes.
of your life with someone, they need to know like how to help you when you're having anxiety and you're triggered and you're having a bad day. Like, that's a requirement.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
Taking note. Don't worry.
Yes. Yeah.
Your guys' love stories giving me faith and love out there. So but I love that. That's so cute. And I love that you love to read too, because it's really true. Like just having something else you can look back on, like a show or a book, and just like,
Mhm.
taking a break from what's going on in your real life is so nice.
Yes, 100%. You need an outlet. It has to be something outside of what you're doing. It has to be something completely different, but it has to be something where you like doing it, because you know, some people be like, oh, I have to go to the gym, or oh, I have to finish this book. It's like, well, if you have to do it, that's not, you know, mentally that's not something that is helping you.
Sure.
It's you're just doing because, you know, it's a chore, right? Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of cool we get to do it, which is so cool. Like some people can't read, some people can't work out. Like that's like hella cool. Like my body wants me to do that. I'm able to.
Yep. Yes. Yeah.
Always gratitude, always over here. I'm like, I always remind myself on a bad day, I'm like, you know what? I'm grateful that I have the ability to do all these cool things because someone out there can't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we take a lot of things for granted until it's taken away from you.
We really do.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say to a woman who feels behind in life right now, maybe in business or in terms of being a mom? Do you have any advice? I feel like you do. You're just great at that.
I'm just great at that. I just make it up as I go. No, I think you know, I'm 33. There are some people in our family that are 25, 26, and they already have, you know, 2, 3, or even on their 4th kid already. So it's like, you know, in terms of behind, I don't think anyone's ever truly behind in their life. It's just everyone's on their own different path. So don't feel behind, you know, like I kind of said before, time passes regardless. So it's, you know, everyone's on their own different time stamp. I'm a little bit older having kids, but that was just what we decided, and that's okay. So if, you know, women that ever feel like they're behind in any aspect, it's okay. You know, you can always start at any point. Business, working out, you know, family, like you can always start. It's just everyone is on their own different path, and it's important not to I guess compare yourself to what other people are going through, because it's very easy to be like, oh, well, so and so's already doing this, or so and so's already done that, and it's very easy to do that. So it's definitely a skill to want to focus on you instead of comparing yourself to other people. It's definitely hard.
I love that. Like I talk about timelines in my first book, but it's so true because we're all
Mm-hmm.
on our own timeline, and you can get inspiration from other people, but if you compare your life or your path to someone else's that's not walking in the same, you know, shoes that you're wearing, like you're going to get nowhere. You're just going to like be unsatisfied and unhappy with your life because they're doing things
Mm-hmm.
differently, but you're not them. Like you're building your own life. You're doing things the way you need to do them for your own individual needs. And I think really reflecting on that matters because we're not meant to live life like someone else. Like, yeah, get inspiration from
Yeah.
them, like think it's cool what they're doing, you know, look at them as a source of resource, but don't like build
Mm-hmm.
their exact life in your own life. Like that's boring and repetitive, and we don't need another them. We need you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I 100% agree.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've done things not traditional. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it's very, very non-traditional, but listen, it's working for you. And that just goes to show that not every person has to be on the same, you know, scripted path, you know, so it's fine.
Thank you for saying that. I'm kind of just going as I, you know, as the days go.
It's working. It's working.
Taking it till I make it, I guess. But it's all the coffee I drink. I mean, I know you remember that. I used to drink so much coffee in your class. It's just doubled now, but it's fine. It's a part of me.
Insane. It's good. It's good.
Are you a lavender girl? Starbucks like just dropped the new lavender drinks.
So where we are, we're in New York, but we're kind of like, it's not like Florida where you can get onto a street and there's like a million Starbucks and Dunkins and things. It's very different. We luckily have a Dunkin' that is like a minute and a half down the road from us.
Okay.
But I actually, when we were trying to get pregnant, I stopped drinking coffee cold turkey. Like cold turkey, and it was the worst 2 weeks of my life. Migraines, it was terrible because I used to drink a shot or 2 of espresso in the morning as my, like, you know, my morning drink, and maybe another cup of coffee. My husband drinks way more caffeine, but for me to just detox from that was so much. So after having Violet, I actually never went back to drinking caffeine. So which is, I know, jaw drop. Yeah, it's actually I do decaf, so I'll do the occasional like espresso martini, but I'm typically, yeah, I just will do decaf.
What the heck?
I know.
What?
And I will tell you that after stopping drinking coffee, I rarely get headaches anymore. I used to get them all the time. You know, like you come like down from that caffeine.
Don't let my mom listen to this.
I know, sorry, but it's so true. And I had no
She's gonna be like,
I
right.
guess no, I know I had no plans on like not going back to drinking caffeine, but I was like, I feel good. And I just was like, I don't need that afternoon pick me up. Like, I don't need that extra cup. So to answer your question that you originally asked, I'm not opposed to drinking lavender. If they have it in decaf, I will definitely try it.
Try it now and then let me know what you think because they do have it.
Okay.
So
There you go.
if your daughter listened to this episode one day, what would you want her to take away?
I want her to take away, I guess, a couple of things, that, sometimes as far as teaching goes, we got into a profession because I thought that was what I wanted to do. And it's okay to kind of shift gears. So it's okay to change your path, to do whatever you truly want to do, which is, like I said, Kristie's custom arts, just shift gears. But I also want her to know that, follow your passion. Because if I had followed my passion, I truly was into art in high school. I loved art. And typically art isn't necessarily a career guarantee, pursuing that. It's sad to say. So teaching was my second option because I did martial arts for 13 years before. So I taught. I love teaching kids. So that was like my second passion. But I don't know. I would say had I followed my true passion of art, maybe things would be different. But for what I would want Violet to take away is to follow her passion and not just something that is going to be a career guaranteer kind of thing. Because you can go through the motions every day in a job that you kind of like or you're just tolerating, or you can kind of work a little harder and do something that you truly wake up excited to do. I think that is very rare to find in life, and a lot of people never achieve that. They always sit behind, a desk and answering emails all day, or or even out in the field and they're miserable. So to find something that is true passion, like you found your true passion, just to pursue that as early as you can. So that's what I would say.
You can't have a job you hate for the rest of your life. Like that's
Mhm.
not how I want to spend my life. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so sad, but it's a very real reality for people. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there anything about having a small business or just like business in general that surprised you after you really got into the fields?
Yes. So I didn't realize how much of a content creator I would also have to be in addition to making all the things. I also have to advertise for myself. And so it's like, you, of course, you want to document what you're doing. You want to be able to focus on what you're doing, but it's just so hard to kind of do both. I had posted a reel not a while back, but like a month ago, where I was videoing, I was doing a time lapse, and it was like a 30-minute time lapse into like a few, 10, 20 seconds. And at the very end, my phone fell right into the coasters I was making, destroyed my phone, had to get a brand new phone. So just you don't realize what you need to sacrifice in order to just get a couple of silly videos to post for 5 people to like on Instagram.
Right, literally.
So
Literally, the algorithm is
yeah.
so mean. I'm like, why are we like my stuff's cool, I thought. Like, why are we making me like feel so
I don't know what happened. I used to have it down pat. I knew what time to post, how to like interact, and now it's just like I'm fighting for my life to reach a 1,000 views, if that. So it's terrible.
Hopefully the podcast will help and elaborate on the post. More than 5 people like it, but
yeah, definitely.
From our personal accounts is fine.
Yeah, I know. It's me, my number one supporter.
Me too, and my mom. Don't worry. We're
exactly.
We're all good. It's okay. We got those 5 likes. I know. How do you keep going when sales are slow or momentum kind of dips?
So I guess in Florida it was a little bit different because it's warm for the most part all year round, where there's things going on outside all the time. Here, obviously, it's like disgustingly cold in the winter. So,
but it's fine.
I trust me, we took it for granted when we were living in Florida, but it is so cold that no one wants to go outside, or it's snowing, and obviously no one wants to travel in the snow. So as far as like dealing with like dips and sales, I'm now seeing that January, February is like the slowest months ever. Um, because no one wants to like go outside. No one's doing shopping. It's after the holidays. No one has any reasons to get gifts for people. So um, I'm currently the next 3 months, I'm booked like almost every weekend on different events, which I'm excited for. The past 2 months, I tried a couple of places. I did some things in a mall, and it was just like it's like not the right setting. So I'm still learning how to deal with the dips up here. So it's a work in progress. I think that for this next year around, the months of November and December are going to be super, super busy. So I'm going to try to jam pack my schedule with as many craft fairs and things that I can. So that way it kind of carries me through the slow months. But again, it's a learning process. It's very different. So I got to learn the way of the land up here in New York. Different.
You learn a piece of yourself every day too, which is really cool. Like it's a forever learning experience and you get to try new things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So my last question for you is what does burnout look like for you and how do you prevent it? Do you have like any habits that you'll fall back on when you're really just like unmotivated?
I feel like there's there's been different versions of burnout that I felt as a teacher. I'm sure teacher burnout is very real and a lot of teachers will relate to that. Um, Mom burnout, I don't know if I've felt it yet, which some moms are gonna be like, what are you talking about? Because again, like I have such a good support system between my mom, my in-laws, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law. Everybody is just, and everyone's just very, very helpful. I'm sure my dad will also be helpful too, but he's still in Florida, so it's hard to like go back and forth. But more so, the support system that I have is just phenomenal, and I know I've already mentioned it, but Matt is just like the best partner to have. So I feel like I don't know. Have I been exhausted? Absolutely. But as far as like burnout, I don't know if I've ever have experienced it yet. There's been stressful times for sure. I've been overstimulated, but burnout, I don't know if I've necessarily felt it yet. As a mom, which is good. Maybe I have, and I just know how to deal with it. I don't know. I don't really know. But so I would say yes in teaching, absolutely. As mom, not yet.
You don't have that at all. Like manifesting
manifesting, no, that's it. We'll see. I don't know. But as a small business owner, I don't know about burnout, but it's just super stressful during the holidays. It is like insane. You're trying to manage going to vendor events, you're trying to manage the personal orders, the custom orders, and there's like the last minute orders for friends or family. They're like, oh, please. So it's definitely stressful. But again, it goes back to like the time management and the checklist, because it's like during those busy months, if you don't have a checklist of what you're doing, it is so easy to get disorganized and just fall behind. So I don't know. That's it. I don't know if I've necessarily felt
have your checklist, guys. Moral of the story: have a checklist, have organizational skills, and you'll be fine. Because if you try to do something without a plan, it's gonna fail.
Yes, checklist. That's it. Take a plan, and you're always okay to derive from the plan as long as you have some sort of idea of where you're going. It's okay, but it's okay.
If we want to follow you on Instagram or find your really cool products and stuff you make, I know because I'm cool like that, but where can we find you and can we shop your stuff? What the heck is going on? Like, it's cool, guys. You guys got to go support her.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have my Instagram. It's Kristie's Custom Arts. That's it. No, nothing else. Just Kristie's Custom Arts, all one word. And also my website is kristiescustomarts.com. A lot of my stuff from vendor events that I don't sell is put up onto the website automatically. So there are beautiful resin boards. There are regular cutting boards. There's so many pairs of earrings. There's custom pet portrait ears that I can make for you. There's so many cool things, and I really I love what I do now. So it's always like, okay, and now I get to make this.
I'm excited.
Yeah, exactly. It goes back to follow your passion. I don't know if how many people use Facebook anymore, but I do also have a Facebook page. So I'm all over the place.
Well, I'll link it all down below. And since you used to grade me, I'll grade you. You got an A+ on today's podcast. So
Thanks.
I hope that makes you happy. But
Thank you.
thank
The
you.
favor is returned. I like it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
exactly. Now you can like have that like gratification of wow, like I got an A.
I
Thank
love
you
it.
for joining me. This was so much fun, very full circle, and it was truly such an honor to hear about your life and just be able to inspire my audience because I know a lot of people find inspiration within this.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for having me. It was really nice to, touch base and catch up for I don't know how many years. It's been a long time. So
It's been a while.
and I said, you are just so mature now. And it's so weird because in my mind, you're that, 7th grade girl. It's crazy. It's crazy,
Here, like I'm just like wow, like I don't know, like I still feel like that still now too, but I don't know. Now we can like stay in touch and you can hear about my life and all the gossip and I'll fill you in because you're
I
one.
love it. I do. I follow it. I love it.
Thank you for being you. I loved chatting today and I can't wait for this to be released.
Yes, me too. I'm looking forward to hearing from it.